Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/talesfromretail, where people who work in retail tell us their craziest, best and funniest stories they have on the job. If you're new around here, please do hit subscribe down below so that you never miss out on another video. But for now, let's sit back, relax and enjoy some Reddit stories. Attempted stealing turned assault charge. Background: I work at a service station, petrol garage, usually doing a pretty wide range of shift times. The store isn't located in a bad area, but we still get more than our fair share of customers who might need reminding they actually have to pay for things before attempting to leave. We are told by managers that we should remind them of such, but if they get confrontational or insist on leaving, we're simply to call the cops immediately, pull up the CCTV footage, and put that person on the banned from the store list. So, one fine rainy afternoon, I'm the only one out front. My co-worker is in the back, rearranging fridges and other stock. We're mostly quiet, so I'm doing some paperwork behind the till when in comes Crazy Lady. From the minute the Crazy Lady came in, she looked pretty shifty. So, of course, I'm keeping a discreet eye on her as she meanders through the aisles. I watch as Crazy Lady shoves a whole range of items into her jumper before she comes up to the till. The only thing she places down to pay for is an ice cream, and she asks for smokes. As is procedure, I go through with the transaction and wait until the Crazy Lady turns to leave the store, making her intention to steal clear. "Excuse me, ma'am, you'll either need to return those items you've stashed in your jumper or you need to pay for them." The Crazy Lady immediately starts yelling, "What items? I've not got any!" "Ma'am, this store is under video surveillance. I witnessed you place items in your jumper. If you won't return or pay for them, then I'll have to call the police." At this point, Crazy Lady starts hurling abuse, cussing, and generally being an upstanding citizen. She proceeds to open up her jacket, releasing everything she's taken to fall on the floor, and makes a point of stomping on the items like a behaviourally challenged 3-year-old. Me, eager to de-escalate, considering how she's responded so far, "Thank you, ma'am. Please feel free to go." This sets her off even worse. She throws the ice cream she'd just bought at me, although it's still in a wrapper. While I'm standing there trying to process the fact that I've just been hit in the chest by a frozen dessert, the Crazy Lady is going for the shelf filled with 2-litre bottles of soft drink that's set up next to the door. And then she begins hurling them at me. Luckily, I'm able to duck to a nearby aisle, kind of panicking at this point because me being a small female against a clearly deranged customer are not great odds. That, and if I did decide to defend myself via violence, I would no doubt be fired. Finally, after what felt like a lifetime, I hear the bell above the door go off, a loud slapping noise, and then Crazy Lady starts screeching, like someone had simultaneously just hurt her newborn child and shoved a hot iron underneath her fingernails. I decide to risk taking a peek to see what set her off. Thankfully, it's the police. 2 officers are pinning this woman to the ground and are handcuffing her despite CL's best impression of a fish out of water banshee hybrid. My co-worker has apparently heard the commotion and called the police. Luck was on our side in that a patrol car was only a street over. With Crazy Lady struggling the entire way, they managed to cuff her and get her into their car. To finish off a lengthy story, when asked, I did indeed agree to have charges pressed. Because honestly, if someone is going to go that psychotic with that little provocation, they probably either need help or to just straight up not be on the street. Guys, we did it. We finally got some charges pressed. Yes! I'm getting evicted tomorrow. I need my refund now. Small backstory. I'm a 19-year-old girl, and I just started working at a chain clothing store at my local mall. My best friend is one of the managers, and she hooked me up with a job since my last one was extremely terrible. She rocks. As of now, I've been working there for little over a month and know how to do most things there. This happened when I was working there for about 2 weeks. My past 2 jobs were a nice ice cream shop and a bakery, so I've never experienced how rude people can be to retail workers. Returns are made all the time. Whether they bought it online, from our store, or a different location, it could be returned, with the exception of some online exclusive purchases. One thing to note when you're doing returns is that you can only receive the refund through the method you originally paid for the item with, or you can get store credit. This info is super important to the whole story. Another thing to point out, most of the people that work here are either 19 or in their early 20s with a few outliers. Also, most of these conversations aren't word for word because of my bad memory, but it's all extremely accurate. Now, let's meet who's involved in the story. Names will be changed for privacy. Me, RL, rude lady, Paige, my manager who's also my best friend, 20 years old, Alex, another manager, same level manager as Paige, also important to the story, 21 years old. So, rude lady was with her kid in a stroller, and she came up to my register and wanted to make a return. She has the receipt, and it was before the 30 days of purchase, which was also needed for returns as well. I saw on the receipt that she paid with a card, so I said, "Do you have the card you purchased this with?" Her tone changes, and she's getting visibly annoyed. "No, can I just get the cash back?" "I'm sorry, but unfortunately, I can only give you your money back through the way you originally paid." She's now getting super angry at me. I can't recall the conversation exactly, but she definitely said these things. She kept saying stuff like, "How long does it take to go back on my card? It didn't take any time for you to take out my money, so why is it going to take time for you to give me my money back? What's the difference between a credit card and a debit card?" In a very condescending tone. "Debit card is the same thing as cash. I should be able to get cash back." I continue to apologise and say that this was unfortunately chain clothing store's policy, and that she could either get it put back on her card or be given store credit. She then says, "I'm getting evicted tomorrow. I need the cash. Can I speak to your manager?" Bingo. I know for a fact any manager I bring over is going to say the exact same thing as I did. So I find Paige and bring her over to the customer. "Hi ma'am, how are you today?" "Not fine. I need a refund." Paige asks for the item and the receipt. I told her before she came over what exactly was happening. "Do you have the card you paid for it with?" Rude lady starts getting angry again and says all the same BS she said to me prior. Keeps asking her what the difference between a debit and a credit card were. She says she was getting evicted and she needs cash. Paige is literally not giving one single care, and I love it. She is definitely nice to all customers, but when someone's being rude, she dials down on the niceness. "I'm sorry ma'am, but I can only give you store credit or put the refund on your card. Those are the only options." "You can't override the system? Can I talk to someone higher up than you?" "No, we can't override it. The other manager is just going to tell you the same thing." She says this a little quieter as she's walking away to go get Alex, who isn't even a higher up manager, like I said in the backstory. Their co-manager or the store manager weren't there that day. Rude lady is now complaining about the whole thing to me, still getting very annoyed and angry while I'm trying to calm her down, and try to keep telling her that I literally don't have the option to give her cash back on the register, so I literally cannot do it. Alex and Paige come back over a few minutes later. Paige already informed him on the situation on their walk over. "Hi ma'am, I understand you're trying to do a refund, but don't actually have the card you paid with, is that right?" "Yeah, and I want cash back." Rude lady keeps saying the exact stuff about the debit cards and credit cards to Alex, how she's getting evicted, and kept saying, "You can't override the system?" Alex kept saying no, and that he was sorry, but the refund can only be completed through her card or if she wanted store credit. The lady finally says fine. Paige and Alex walk away, but are still close enough to be able to hear. Rude lady whips out her debit card that she claimed she didn't have, just because she needed cash for what? Like a $30 purchase? What's $30 gonna do when you're literally getting evicted? Right, nothing. Before she can put her chip into the Verifone, I needed the last 4 digits of her debit card, which is on the receipt, but me still being new, I asked her for it. She had that, "As a matter of fact, yeah I do," attitude. She told me the digits. I typed them in, and the computer told me it was wrong, so I told her that. "No, it's not wrong, those are the last 4 digits. I look at the receipt, and she gave me a different digit for the last number, and I just said, "Oh, sorry, I must have misheard." I type everything in and she inserts her card and the refund goes through. I give her receipt and all she's saying now is, alright, I see how chain clothing store is, and some BS about us not caring about their customers or whatever. After she leaves, Paige comes back up to me and says, you know, if she was actually nice about the whole and said something like, oh, hi, I'm sorry to bother you, but I really need the cash. Is there any way you could do it for me? Or something? Yeah, I would have done it for her. But no, she had to be all rude about it. She wasn't getting anything back. I literally don't understand why people can't just be nice and understanding. I couldn't wait till I got home to tell my mum about it because it was hilarious. I'm really confused because I'm pretty sure that every single store has the same policy, like everywhere refunds the money in the same way it was paid for or gives store credit. Some people just need to learn the ins and outs. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other stories, then click on screen right now or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed those stories, then please do hit subscribe down below and leave a like on the video. But thank you so much for watching and I will see you very soon.